RonStone. I'm the Assistant Director of Nutrition here at Mayo Clinic in Florida. So hurricane season is upon us, and these hurricanes can bring devastation, as we've seen in South Florida, as we've seen in Wilmington, North Carolina. This time of year brings to mind what to do when our power goes out. And this is a very real possibility. It hasn't been that long ago since Katrina hit the New Orleans area and the Alabama area, and people went without power for 5, 7, and more days. So how do we survive? What do we do? How do we eat and feed our families without power? Well, most of us think immediately of how we're going to live out of a can, and we have no plan and we have no recipes. So I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about how you would plan for this sort of disaster. Let's start with your refrigerator. Right? Your refrigerator was cold before the power went out. It's going to stay cold and keep those foods at temperature for up to about 4 hours. So if you have sandwich meat and things in the refrigerator, leftovers from last night, breakfast items, those sort of things you might want to make your very first meal. Second, there are things in the refrigerator that, even though we keep them in the refrigerator, stay good indefinitely over 40 degrees. These are things like our salad dressings and vinegar-based items, pickles, olives, some of these things that are very tasty and can be used to add to recipes. The other thing is key, and I'm a condiment guy, is making sure that you don't throw out your ketchups, your mustards, your soy sauce, your Worcestershire sauce. We're going to use these things in recipes, and they'll stay shelf stable even if they're opened, even outside the refrigerator. Now, many of our recipes incorporate mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is a fat, and it does need to be held at temperature. It will stay good for about 8 hours after the power goes out, but after that you want to get rid of your mayonnaise. So what we suggest is keeping the packets of mayonnaise on hand, because we're going to use those in some of our recipes. Now, we've used up all of our immediately perishable items from the refrigerator. Let's move next into the freezer. The freezer is going to keep your food cold for up to 48 hours if you have a packed freezer. So if you have some charcoal on hand and a grill or some gas power, pull those steaks out of the freezer. They're not going to be good much longer, and go ahead and have you a very nice dinner. Eat your frozen vegetables and other frozen items in the freezer within about 24 or 48 hours. So at this point, we've gotten you through 2 days and the power still hasn't come on. It's not time to panic, because most of us have items in our pantry that we can readily use, that are there, that we didn't even have to really think about. These are our canned goods. Now, when we talk about canned goods in today's society, we think, okay, we have plenty of canned goods, and we go over to the counter and the electric can opener isn't working. So we absolutely have to have a good old-fashioned handheld can opener. You can have the ones that do the turn, or you can have the old military grade ones that you have to open the can, but please have something to open the can with, or you're going to be in trouble. So we got your can opener, and we're going to start looking for what we have in there. We need protein sources. What are good protein sources? Well, canned tunas, even if they were in the refrigerator, canned chickens, any of the canned meats, including Spam and some of the other canned meats, these make great protein sources, and we can use these items in our recipe. Canned vegetables, corn, beans, and that sort of thing are going to be great for recipes. One of our recipes that is really delicious is a black bean and corn taco. So I know in my pantry, up at the top in the back, there's a family pack of good old corn tortilla taco shells. A lot of us have those. So you can take the black beans and corn and make you a nice dinner. Now, we've kept some of our condiments on hand. Most of us have some dry seasonings and so forth available too. So with a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of hot sauce, we can make us a nice taco type sauce mixed in with our black beans and so forth, and we have a nice meal. There are going to be some items though that do not stay shelf stable for very long. Things like breads, we recommend soft taco shells and things of that nature. We're going to need, if we have a little bit of warning before the storm, to go out and purchase and have enough bread on hand to last about 7 days. The other thing is hydration. We need adequate water through this sort of thing. If the power is out around the city, our water supply may be compromised. What we need to plan for is 1 gallon of water per person per day, and we usually ask that we plan out about 7 days in advance. Now, most of us don't carry gallon of waters. We all have the bottled waters now, the 20-ounce bottles of water. So that is 8 20-ounce bottles of water per person per day. Now, if we start factoring that out over a 7-day period, that's 56 bottles of water, and we often don't think about that. That's more than 2 cases of water per person to get us through that 7 days. So a family of 4 is going to have to stock up quite a bit on water. We always say let's buy a little bit more water, because one of the staples in our refrigerators is our dry cereals. And dry cereals make tasty breakfasts, and the kids will eat them. My kids will eat the Cheerios any meal, any time of the day. But we don't have milk, because the milk's gone out within the first 4 hours of our refrigerator. So we can use powdered milk. Powdered milk works very, very well, but again, you have to have water to mix with the powdered milk. Other things that we like to keep on hand is like powdered items, like your your Crystal Lights, your Gatorades, the powdered ones that you can just mix in water that make tasty beverages and so forth. So I hope that I've given you enough of a start today to get going, to help make your experience further and to really help you with your plan. If you'll get on our website at Mayo Clinic, we have a number of tools on there to help you. We've developed recipes over the years that make eating out of a can and eating without power not only doable, but tasty and nutritious as well. We want to keep you in shape throughout this 7 days. We also have shopping guides on there so that you make sure you have a can opener, so that you make sure you have a lot of these things on hand that you're going to need, so that you can get through this healthy and nutritious and be able to actually go out and clean up and be healthy enough and have enough energy to weather this storm.